Welcome to episode 132 of Nobody Special.
On this episode, we talk about truth, where our attention lies, and what lies to our attention.
The Gospel Outpost presents Nobody Special. Hey everyone, welcome to Nobody Special, two nobodies talking about the somebody who matters. I'm Danny, the host and other kind of sibling to Sherlock Holmes.
And I'm Caleb, you're the host of Nobody Special. This is the podcast where two generations of people are looking to find God in pop culture, politics, and everything in between, all while not taking any of it too seriously.
Hi Caleb.
Hello.
How are you?
Pretty good.
Caleb, it's movie season, or kind of.
Movie season?
Movie season?
Isn't that just every part of the year?
No, there's very specific seasons. They have a schedule that they put out the garbage in.
I guess that's true.
And it's like Christmas Day, they know they're not getting the winners on that one. They're fun ones, but they know what they're getting into.
I have a lot of fun Christmas Day movies. I don't know what you're talking about.
Name one.
Most recently, I can name is, I can't remember the name of it, but the one with Michael B. Jordan and Jamie Foxx about the death penalty thing.
Hold on. Did that come out at Christmas or December 18th?
It came out on Christmas.
Guarantee it didn't.
I can confirm it did.
Oh, we're starting off with a fight. This is happening. All right.
That's my
everyone,
favorite.
Please place the bets now for a movie that he doesn't even know the name of, that he's going to try and tell me is a good movie.
It's a very good movie.
Michael B. Jordan. So, how I understood it to go.
Just Mercy.
Okay, so
That's
Just Mercy release date.
Come on.
Oh
Boom.
my gosh.
Yes. It feels so good to be right.
Okay.
It's December 25th.
So, usually, as I understand it, what occurs is that at the big movies, the blockbusters come out in the summer because people can go to them because they don't. Well, teens aren't in school. That's really what it is. So everyone's on breaks. It's just kind of a different mentality kind of a thing. And then movies, in order to qualify as a part of the Oscars, I think they need to be in by December 18th or something. And so things they put out on Christmas Day, although that's a movie day, they don't tend to be the contenders towards Oscars.
Yes.
Because they've missed the deadline. So there are movie seasons. I was right on that one.
Yeah. No, we're both right.
But it's movie.
It's all good fun, Danny. It's all good fun.
It's movie season now, though, is it? Trailers have been coming out again, and that's kind of good.
Yeah.
But Netflix, which if you still have Netflix, it's a streaming service that
if you still have Netflix.
that at some point kind of low key promoted pedophilia. So. I didn't cancel mine, but it's because it's not mine. Like, it's not mine to cancel. So like let's be straight up.
Yeah.
You know? So but they have a few coming out that I think could be good, and I know there's one that you're pretty excited about.
Yes.
Tell us about it. Which one
Very
is it?
Very excited. It's a new Adam Sandler film. Because they're not good. They just aren't. But they are good, if you know what I mean. You know, it's it's Adam Sandler. It's what is it called? It's Hubie Halloween. And also, I just love Halloween movies. So there's not enough Halloween movies,
right.
And to have an Adam Sandler one that is Halloween is just perfect, because otherwise it's just Scooby-Doo. That's what I get my Halloween high off of.
This entire premise of the movie, I think, is kind of a Boy Who Cried Wolf type of thing. That it's this guy who trying to keep the town of. Aren't they in? Where are they? I think they're in Salem.
Oh yeah,
for
I
the
did
witches.
say Salem, yeah.
They're in there. In every Halloween, he tries to keep everyone safe, but it's stuff as in this company, they have bacon that's gone expired. You know, just like small stuff. So by the time something big actually happens, no one believes him, and it's up to this man, who is, albeit a bit creepy.
Yeah. He's the classic Adam Sandler, like, weird voice where he talks like this. My name is
Hubie Halloween.
Yeah. So
yeah.
I can't wait. What is the other? There was another Adam Sandler thing. It was like more of like a not as kid friendly one where he talked like that as well. It was like Sandy Wexler.
Yeah, Sandy Wexler. So
I really like that one. I don't know why, but
a few years ago, Adam Sandler scored this like 7 movie contract through Netflix, and they're all kind of the exact thing that you'd kind of expect out of an Adam Sandler movie. I mean, in the Ridiculous 6, I actually called a friend because I watched this. It was hilarious. It was not appropriate, but it was hilarious, and it was not good at all.
Yeah.
And I called a friend of mine up and said, "Hey, Josh, come on over. We're watching a movie." He's like, "Oh, what movie?" And I'm like, "We're watching The Ridiculous 6." And I'd already seen it, and I'm like, "I need to watch it again." And he said, "Is it good?" And I'm like, "No, but it's amazing." Like, it's off color. It's just wrong. It's incorrect as far as the movie goes, and it was fantastic. And I think this gives off the same kind of a vibe there.
Yeah, I think the only like good Adam Sandler movie. This is it's not even an Adam Sandler movie, but Uncut Gems, where he was actually a serious role.
Right.
That was a good movie with Adam Sandler in it.
See,
but every other one, it's just so good, but it's not.
No, 50 First Dates, I thought gave a bit of a range to it. That was
true. Yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah.
There was some more emotional pull in that one.
But yeah, because, I mean, he's not a bad actor. He's just, he does the thing he does, and he does it well, and it's like...
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's
what
fine. Makes it so good, is knowing that he is capable of doing it well.
And in all these, especially in the new movie about Halloween coming out, he's kind of bringing out the old SNL cast during the days when they were actually good.
Yeah.
Where they were actually kind of funny. I mean, Tim Meadows is a comedic genius who just... I haven't seen him in a long time, and he's hilarious, and he's in there. I think you also got Kenan Thompson. He's kind of new cast, but he's very funny also. So I'm kind of excited. He's got some good fun people in there, and also some of the cast of Stranger Things is in there, which is weird, but that's fine. There's another Halloween. All right, I saw a trailer, I saw an announcement, and I was very excited because I was like, oh, Caleb's gonna love this because how he feels about the first movie and how he loves Halloween and all that. And Caleb, they're making a sequel to a movie that I know you like.
Yes,
they're making
Hocus Pocus 2.
And they got the original cast to come back. And guess when it's coming out? Ready? Just in time for July 4th. It's coming out in like June or July.
What?
Yeah, it's coming out in June or July.
That's...
Hocus Pocus.
I mean...
the Halloween movie.
I guess that's fine. That's weird.
No,
why would they do that?
It's not fine. Why? No free rides.
Yeah. I mean, like, we will be able to watch it when Halloween comes around. Sure.
Right. It will.
But why would you do that? It will be
ingrained. June 2021. Hocus Pocus 2 will be coming out.
It's not even July. It's June.
June. Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, but just in time for Independence Day.
That's really weird. I mean, okay. That kind of throws off the vibe. But,
a little bit. What are they like? What do you? Just wait. Like, just give it a minute. Come out. That's
exciting,
September.
though. Yeah. There's another movie on Netflix that Danny, you seem to be interested in. I mean, I think it looks interesting too, but.
Okay. Hold on.
Did I just dig you in a hole?
So now we have to just say what the movie is first, and then I'll come back and
it's
punch you in the
Enola
face.
Holmes.
Enola Holmes, which is about Sherlock Holmes's, I think it's his
brother.
Sister. Starring Millie Bobby Brown because British.
Yep.
They call it what it is, right? Like that was the whole casting criteria, British and popular.
I mean, it looks good. It's like a coming of age type movie. I think
it looks fun. it looks good. I mean, I'm not gonna dunk on it too hard. All right, I adore the Sherlock Holmes stories. I think all the things I pulled up. I mean, all the copies of it. If it's RDJ or Benedict Cumberbatch, both of them are they're fantastic. They're great stories.
Yeah.
And as a character, I think he's fantastic. Even the inspiration of Dr. House, I think, is all based in that. And I adore this as a story. And the trailer of this, I mean, it's fine. It's good. It looks fine.
Why are you holding back, Danny? Why are you holding back?
I don't know, because it just felt... It also gave off this appearance of this is just like... We're marketing to teens.
Yeah.
We know what we're doing.
Come on, get it out.
We're marketing to teens.
Come on.
It felt very... pandery.
I mean, isn't every teen movie, though?
Yeah, that's the thing I'm saying. They had an opportunity...
What's wrong with that, though? Creating an audience.
No, they're not creating an audience. They're pandering to an audience.
Exactly, yeah. But that's movies. You think SpongeBob was made for adults? No.
Yes. Have you seen that?
Well,
yes.
now.
That has adults in mind. That
grown
thing
up
is
and watching it.
Clearly, they know that. I don't know. They just they had an opportunity to do a compelling story, and all the people
compelling.
All the people that have gone through it.
No, I'm defending this movie. I am planting my flag.
On Rotten Tomatoes is that it's a good movie. It is for teens. It has all the teen tropes, all that stuff, and it has flavors of Sherlock Holmes. But most of the people brought up it's a movie because it's just a break from the news of 2020 and the news kind of all the depressing stuff going on. And it was a positive and a fun telling of a story, quasi.
What percentage did it get
Holmes.
on Rotten Tomatoes?
I mean, it got an 80, so I'm not trying to dunk on it too hard, but it's just like, it's fun and it's fine. It's fine.
You haven't even seen it yet.
I know. The trailer, I was kind of like, this is fine, and I am gonna tune in because I am interested.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of, I don't know. It's like the teenage drivel stopped being fun to me at some point. Probably around 20.
Yeah. It's because it's not geared towards you.
I know, but like this, I feel because of the character, they should have honored a bit more.
Enola Holmes? That's made to be a teenage movie. If it was a Sherlock Holmes movie, sure. I would.
It's his sister, who we don't even know is a real character.
Have you seen Young Sherlock? Because that's obviously geared towards teenagers, and...
But that's different. That's backstory. It's different.
Oh my gosh.
It's different.
You're so full of it.
I don't know. I think it'll be fine.
Who plays Sherlock again? What is it? Henry Cavill?
Henry Cavill.
Yeah.
And I think it's with mustache this time.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to go into our archives and use the same...
No, he didn't have a mustache.
Oh,
that was
then we can't
Mycroft.
use the same thumbnail as 3 episodes ago or whatever that was. Oh, we'll get a different thumbnail
Did
for
he
you.
film this during freaking Mission Impossible 2?
Right. Like, I don't know whether we want mustache or not. No, but I don't know. It'll be good. I'm still excited. I do think they gave the ending, not the ending, but the gimmick of a mystery out in the actual trailer, though.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention that much.
Yeah, here. Hold on. I am typing something in the notes.
Okay. Don't spoil it for me.
Not for you. Don't read the note. You won't read the notes anyway.
Yeah, I won't. Okay. I won't read the notes anyway. Oh, man.
It was Old Man Smithers.
Old Man Smithers?
Hold on. I'm trying to not spoil it. Say something so we don't dead air.
I'm going to say something so we don't dead air. Yeah, the movie looks fine though. I don't know what your problem is. But, you know, I think it'll be good. Okay. I'm going to continue talking.
I have typed the thing in the notes. On my honor, I will not change this thing until after until it's talked about on this podcast. I am fairly certain that is the whole gimmick of the entire movie is that there. Because they've shown it 2 times.
Did you mean to type in Ebola?
No, that auto-corrected.
That's
but
good.
that is her name now.
Enola Holmes.
It's auto-correcting. See? It's just listen, I don't need this. So anyway, we will be tuning back in. How did I manage to take a movie I'm only like somewhat interested in and make it a 2-part segment? Cliffhangers, y'all.
Yeah.
Also starring Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things, because I guess they're just killing it at this point.
Netflix, yeah, they found the good child actors, and now they're just milking them. Them.
Until they've drained all the morality out of them.
What are we actually talking about this week?
Well, gosh, I had a whole segue. Now it doesn't work.
Yeah, I love destroying your segue.
It doesn't work. So I found one of the coolest things about Sherlock Holmes is his attempt to get at the truth by interpreting things in front of him and kind of deducing things. Because truth in our culture, even today, is we're talking about truth. All right, we've done it again. We're talking about truth. So a couple of different things. We watch the news. Do you ever turn on the news? I actually don't know. Do you?
No.
Any kind of news? Anything?
I'll like
Twitter.
You know how like Apple will pop up the news on your like homepage thing?
Stop it! I'm trying to chase the Subway app.
Like, I think that is that's the only time I really hear it. Or I mean, and I'm on Facebook and stuff, so people will share articles. Like, that's how I hear it.
How many people have you snoozed on Facebook this year?
Snoozed? I don't get on Facebook enough to snooze people.
Oh, I have unfriended people on Facebook this year. It's okay. None of them.
Danny is proud of it too.
I am. It feels good.
Jeez.
You don't understand. That sounds mean, but it's just like I couldn't take it anymore. They're like,
man.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to get into it because I'm really giving
right,
away.
Yeah, let's continue.
But no, I mean, but that is part of it though. The whole thing of getting there's a cultural battle that's going on to keep all of our attention through. To be honest, it kind of comes off as changing the truth or giving it in a different kind of a manner. And I'm claiming this on a bipartisan end. Fox News does the same thing that CNN does, and I don't think either end is innocent in this. But it's this idea that maintaining the attention of the audience is its own kind of currency at this point.
Right.
To the point that they'll do anything to keep their audience, or even to a certain extent placate to them, in order to keep them going and keep them on their product. And
that's what's so sick about all of these big news companies is that it's just fueled off of money, and that's as I mean, if they weren't catering towards these people, whatever side it is, they're not going to be a company anymore. Right. And that's what's interesting about people still choosing to listen to these companies.
Well, because they agree with them, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's part of it. So, but you got to think through it a bit that news companies, they're giving out their product. And if they're giving out their product, that means they have to do some other thing in order to stay going. I mean, kind of the same thing on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all that. They're giving out their product, and if they're going to do that, then they need to do ads. Right. And in ads, because I've actually bought a few on Facebook for other things, but the principle is kind of the same across the board, that they're paid by a company to put an image in your brain through some kind of a manner. So if I understand that Caleb is going to give a speech and 2 million people are going to attend this speech, I'm going to pay him loads of cash in order to say, hey, go check out thegospeloutpost.com. Just slip it in there. I'll pay him loads of cash to do that. Or
hey, I just need you to know, I do it for free.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But on another end, if I know Caleb is giving a speech and only 10 people are going to be there, I could take out, quote unquote, an ad, but I'm not going to pay him as much. Right. Because that's not that much exposure. And then because of that, to maintain people's attention becomes key to ad sales. Right. And that's how they stay in business. And I think it's been this change in culture of these places aren't trying to tell the truth, although that is important, it's an aspect of it. They're trying to maintain attention.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the point that's getting a bit dangerous as a culture, because everything is trying to get our attention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's definitely true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the whole premise of like social media in general. I mean, and I think that it's not always inherently bad, right?
Mm-mm.
That's what's interesting about it, and kind of deceiving sometimes too, is that you can just like I was looking on my phone and it has like this screen time thing,
Mm-hmm.
and
turn that off. Didn't need that information.
And I'm actually doing better, but like it is going on social media and like scrolling through, and it is about attention, and where our attention goes is where sometimes, I mean, this kind of is generalizing it, but it is where our money goes. You know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And
where your heart is, there your treasure is also.
Yeah. Was that your stomach?
That was my stomach. Yeah. Thanks. That's fine. I'll quote scripture and you can call attention to my stomach. No, I mean,
that's a good scripture. Yes.
I mean, but that is the idea. Sorry, we had a pizza beforehand, and that's where we are. No, but where our heart is, there our treasure is also, and I think that's, that scripture kind of doesn't talk about the which came first aspect. I mean, because in some cases is I put my heart into thing because I've dropped a lot of money into it, but to be honest, other times it's I put a lot of money into a thing because that's where my heart is. Right. And that's, attention is a form of currency, I think.
Yeah. And I think that that's even kind of, I mean, this is just an example of the way I kind of view tithing is kind of the same thing. You know, my heart is invested in the kingdom of God. Yeah. Therefore, that's where my money should naturally flow. And that's where I should give to, right? So, like, I mean, I think that's kind of important. I mean, side note, but
no, absolutely. I mean, that's absolutely part of it. That's the, especially tithing as the first 10%, and not just the final 10% if I have it, but as the first 10%. This is the place where my best in the first goes, because it's the most important. It's the place I need my heart to be, and occasionally it chases after the money, and occasionally the money chases after the heart. And that's the importance of building a discipline in that, is that it keeps itself going when it's hard. So, but you know, in a cultural perspective, this is the part I'm at, that I tend to get at about this time every election, is I'm tired of the information, and it's burning out the attention because everything is making a grab for it. Right. And it's almost too much to process. And I get tired of it, and as I'm tired, then other info just starts slipping in because the guard is down. Right. As people are tired, they're not able to do critical thinking to the manner that they're able to do it as they're actually paying attention. That's why ads are quick, because if there's actually time to stop and think about it, you'll kind of get to the conclusion, I don't need another sports car, or I don't think ordering a car out of a kiosk is necessarily a good idea. I mean, no, but seriously though, it's cool for 30 seconds, and then you stop and like, why do they have a car vending machine? Like,
they look ridiculous too. That's so funny.
I know. There's one in Jacksonville. Yeah. A car vending machine. But I don't stop and think about that. I just go like, oh, it's cool because I saw a 30-second commercial. I'm like, it's pretty dope. I need a new car. I'll go to the vending machine. like the more,
just drop 35 grand in a vending machine.
I mean, actually, is it a thing that you can drop a coin in? I know that they had that commercial that a person drops a coin in, and it like, I don't know, gives them their car, and I'm just like, how jacked up is that? Just like, yeah. And is it possible to tie a string to the coin and just yank it right back out? 3 cars today.
Oh God.
Was it a good joke? No, but it's the joke we have. So, no, but I mean that's kind of the cultural battle of attention, and I mean even the whole idea of like smartphones. Developmental psychologists are all in basic agreement that like, oh yeah, smartphones are super bad for your kid. Yeah, they're really bad. And
right.
Like, well, aren't there any benefits? No, like no, there's none benefits. Yeah,
I mean, I think my childhood would have been so different if I had an iPad or a, phone,
right,
with a that I could play. I could do
right.
like Snake,
right.
Those are the days,
right?
But like, yeah, I mean, it forces you to do so many other things when you don't have that option,
mm-hmm.
and I think that's we were actually filming in Charlotte. I don't know when I was there, but it was at this university, and there was this professor. We were recording one of his like sessions for this online event, and it was really good. And he was talking about how curiosity gets in the way of us seeking truth.
Yeah.
And I think that is literally the smartphone.
Right.
Curiosity isn't inherently bad. It isn't.
No.
But when it is constantly distracting you
mm-hmm.
from searching truth,
right?
Like you can know how to build a cabinet or how to,
right?
For me, it's like a bunch of filmmaking stuff.
Right.
But if I don't know, what the Word of God is saying,
mm-hmm.
then it's kind of like useless. And I think, but that's where it's kind of flipped, because it can help you, like having the Bible app and having, all these different resources at your fingertips can be good, but
technology and the internet, as I guess I'm kind of a purist in this, it's a tool.
Yeah.
And a tool, when it's doing a specific job, is fine.
Right.
Mm-hmm. If I have a sledgehammer, that's probably not the tool I'm going to pick to install a window, because it has a different purpose. And so, I mean, even the film things, to you, that's growing in a career or in a job and that kind of thing.
Right.
But if you're trying to study how to do better with cameras, I don't know what you type in. I'm sorry. I don't think it's that. But
it's mainly lighting stuff.
if that's the thing that you're trying to figure out, like how to do the lighting, and then go, gosh, but how do I make a cabinet?
Right.
Then yeah, that's not great, because it's the attention's just going off in all areas.
Right.
If it's channeled and focused, mm-hmm. it's actually a really good thing to be curious in an area with intentionality.
Right.
But to just stray off in all different places, that's a point it gets troublesome. I mean, I've tutored a few kids. The biggest problem at this point is that they're able to Google answers to their work, and because of that, they don't actually know anything.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't need to study, because their attention is just in other places, and they just Google it, and that's not helpful.
That annoys me.
Yeah, it's really annoying. I mean,
you shouldn't have told me that.
Do your work. But I mean, but especially during this time of politics and ads and that kind of things, I get very, I don't know, I'm just like tired of it, I guess, because the ads, the commercials, even the statements out of politicians, they're crafted in the understanding that people aren't actually paying attention. I mean, there was a politician I've watched do this a few times. They put out a 10-minute thing. In the first 7 minutes are them talking about I'm angry or all their feelings, all the things that they're like, this is crazy that they would do this, and I'm so offended at this, mm-hmm. this, and this is before they've even brought up what it is they're talking about. And so they do this for 7 minutes. They talk about everybody needs to be as at this as I am because this is a travesty. It's all these things. They put the thought in on this is how to answer. And then they go, because it tells us this in this bill. And it's just kind of a quick clause. And then they don't explain it and go back to being upset. Yeah. And all that is them understanding that people don't think about it. And they guide them through, this is the way to feel. But they don't actually give them truth. And on Twitter, Instagram, all these things, people are posting articles, posting things because of things they feel, not because of actual truth.
Right.
And I think that's the point that's getting very dangerous as a culture, because it's chipping at this idea of truth, that truth bows to feeling.
Yeah. I think that is interesting. I mean, and that is definitely, I know a lot of people who that is the way they think. Whether it's like not always in, the super angry, I'm upset, blah, blah, blah. But like, that's the idea of, what is it? Subjective truth.
Yeah. Which is a nonsense term.
Yeah.
It's a nonsense term.
I don't get how that can possibly be like a belief system. It blows my mind. And like, if that's you, I'm not saying that you're dumb or anything. No. It's just hard for me to wrap my head around thinking that there is no truth, basically.
Right. Right. Or that truth, that there can be two competing truths. I mean, this is the problem I'm watching in the news, is that a news story occurs, two people tell it different, and both of those truths are expected to, quote unquote truths, are expected to just be able to be in the same place, although they contradict. Yeah. And they can't contradict, but the people as a culture aren't putting in the critical thinking skills to think through things, but are just getting very emotional about the whole thing and making choices based on emotion. And I mean this as it happens in Democrats and Republicans, conservatives, liberals, all of them. This isn't a thing that just this group is doing. Yeah. It's across the board. Right. I mean, there's a ton of articles going around on Facebook that people have just gone through the headline and not actually the article.
I hate that.
Yeah.
So much.
Yeah. I know that as a whole, you're against me getting into Facebook arguments, and I am too. Just every now and then. Doesn't stop you. Every now and then. I don't do it that often. Just every now and then, though, I'll go into an article, quote the article back to the person that posted it, and say, even the article disagrees with its own headline. And that's one of my favorite things to do, because it's just like, you've been bamboozled, my dude. Yeah. You spread fake news, so. Yeah. Yeah. No, go ahead.
I mean, I was just kind of going back in this subjective truth. I mean, the first thing that pops into like my head specifically too, as far as religion, is like the coexist thing. And I know this is kind of diving into your next question. Right. Which I'll let you say it.
Coexist. That's a funny bumper sticker. Someone put the cross on there like, nah, that don't. Yeah. don't.
That is funny.
It don't play nice.
I mean, that's what's funny about Christianity, is it immediately sections itself off from everything else. It's like, there is no way to the Father except through Jesus. Right. And that is immediately disqualifies Christianity from the coexist thing. Right. But I know you have a verse for that. Do you want to read that now?
Go ahead and read it. Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, this is kind of, I think I actually just quoted it, but.
You did, but it's worth reading again. It's actually a really good one.
This is John 14, 1-7. Let not your hearts be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, would I have told you that I would go to prepare a place for you? And if I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again and will take you to myself, that where I am, you may also be. And you know the way to where I am going. Thomas said to him, Lord, we do not know where you are going. How can we know the way? Jesus said to him, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you had known me, you would have known my Father also. From now on, you do know him and have seen him.
Yeah, this one, I mean, this is great because there's like a couple of things going on. First is Jesus is going ahead of them, but takes this as an opportunity to talk about, no, but in a broader scale, I'm also going on ahead to prepare a place in eternity.
Right.
But it is a narrow path to eternity, and it is only through Jesus that he is the way, truth, and life, and no one comes to the Father except through him. Now, you can't get to that part and get to coexist or subjective and competing truths. You cannot get that option. It's not available.
Right.
So what does it mean that Jesus is the truth?
I think just from my understanding, which is probably...
It's a fine understanding. Keep going.
I mean, I think it all comes back to that line there. I mean, there's no way to the Father except through me. I mean, I think Jesus is the truth because of what he did. And truth... Oh, gosh. See, this is way about... And this is why I always get nervous talking next to a seminarian.
That's okay. We don't actually know what we're talking about.
But like, Jesus is the truth, and he is the way, the truth, and the life. And I think that what that means is that there is only one true way to the Father.
Yeah.
And I think that Jesus is the way. He says it right there. I mean, I don't know. That's my narrow understanding.
Yeah. No. I think that's
simple as
yeah.
it gets.
It's that. By claiming I am the truth, he's claiming all the others are not the truth.
Right.
And this idea that everybody can get to heaven in the end, if they're just good people. All right. The problem is no one's good, and also that's even if they are, they're still not in the truth. And this idea that truth can be, truth just is. Because it's true. The truth doesn't become true because that's how I feel. It's true even if I don't actually feel that. Any attempt to kind of get to truth in any context or any kind of truth that is based in a subjective kind of a feeling isn't truth.
Right.
And truth is based in God because it's pure.
Yeah.
The content can be painful, but the message in itself is pure because it is true.
Yeah, I think that's huge. And I think the way I have always thought about truth, I mean, in a good way for me to compare the Bible to. I think about like losing a loved one. Like, it's obviously something you do not want to be true. Your feelings are completely opposite of what the truth actually is in that situation. And this is, I guess, a little t truth, you could call it in this analogy. But that's what me and my class in high school always were like. God is the big T truth. And there are things in life that are true,
right?
Which is a little t truth.
Okay.
But they are not the truth, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Moving on.
Yeah. Okay, I get that.
So, like, your loved one passes. You don't want that to be true, but it doesn't make it any less true,
right.
Your feelings being against that.
Right.
It is true. They have died. But and that's how I view the Bible. This is kind of my point, is like, the Bible does not agree with us. Like, my flesh is the opposite of the Bible.
Yeah.
So, like, in knowing that it is true, is important, because then that allows us to be conformed by it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's the huge point here.
I mean, people try and create a world view based on their feelings, and then try and interpret truth through that, but you can't do that. Instead, though, worldview is established by truth, by actually delving into the facts, by getting into the actual nature of things. And I do think truth, when brought up as truth, to an extent does honor God. And and again, I'm trying to be clear, it's not that grandma dying honored God, but that communicating that in a true manner is honoring to God, because it doesn't try and kind of deceive people.
Right.
If grandma died and I don't tell people, or I try and kind of go like, no, she's fine and kicking, that's very sinful and very dark. But it's that doesn't honor God to bear that kind of false witness, because Jesus is the truth.
Right.
The embodiment of truth and the means of salvation in that. And I mean, even going to towards the end in John 18, that as Jesus is being questioned by Pilate, Pilate said to him, "So you are a king?" And Jesus answered, "You say that I am a king, and for this purpose I was born, and for this purpose I've come into the world to bear witness to the truth." And every one who is of the truth listens to my voice. And Pilate asked him, "What is truth?" And that to me is just such a heartbreaking question, because of the implications of that question.
Right.
Of there's people out there screaming, "Crucify Jesus." There's a Jesus who Pilate's actually talking to, that he can't actually pick out anything he's done, and is still being called to crucify this man because the crowd and the mob are angry and screaming, and it a muddied truth.
Yeah.
And that's a dangerous place to be at in culture, that truth is muddied by feeling.
Yeah. And I think that not only feeling, but like chaos in that.
Yeah.
That these people are screaming, and it's nasty out there.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that's a huge thing. I mean, that's huge. I've never even thought about this section of the Bible.
Quid est veritas? What is truth?
Yeah, like I've never thought about it in that way. And that, like even Pilate is confused. Like he's like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And I think that that's why his posture is so important. Like when all this chaos is going on, when there's 10,000 people screaming two different things, just like back up and truly think about what is truth.
Right.
I think it's easy for myself to get caught up in like, as much as I wish it was other people we were talking about, when it's like these wide opinions and it's really nasty. Like I think I'm in that just as much as anybody else.
Yeah,
right?
I actually thought that you were talking about today and not during John 18 times. I was like, yeah, people are nasty out there and they're angry and upset. I'm like,
yeah.
What are we talking? Where are we? Like, point in the timeline.
Yeah.
Today or then?
I mean,
it could go either
That's
way.
what I'm saying. Like, it is. I think specifically in this huge race thing that's going on, and it is important, you know, because people when George Floyd died, people were like demanding you to pick a side. Right. And that's what this reminds me of, is that it was like immediately it's us or them, or vice versa, and you need to choose now, or else if you don't, then you are on the other side. You're on the side of the enemy. And that was confusing to me, because I wanted to step back and basically do what Pilate's doing and be like, okay, what is going on here? Like, I needed to wrap my head around it. I didn't say, like there was a good probably 2 weeks before I came to any conclusion.
Right.
Of course, I knew, like racism is bad, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like, but
and
when it came to the fine details
Right.
of things, like I needed to truly sit down and think. And I
Right.
think the world wants to demand an answer quick, and I just don't think that's smart. I think
Right, and I mean, I'll be clear because our podcast did put out the George Floyd episode, and we're standing behind every part of that too. There isn't any part of that I'm walking back, and I think Caleb's in the same place. But I'm going to speak for the both of us because he doesn't know I'm doing this, so why not? But in I know they came out, they did autopsies and said no, he had a lot of fentanyl in his all throughout the system, and I was like, that is an important kind of a fact. Also, that death is still a tragedy.
Yeah.
And also, burning everything to the ground because of it is inappropriate. And I can hold all of those things because there's a truth in that tries to pursue God and be and chase God even through our actions in a very chaotic kind of a circumstance.
right.
It's possible to actually have a nuanced thought on something.
Exactly. I mean, we were talking about this the other day. Like, I think that it is smart in general to not come to conclusions quickly. I think there are times for that.
Yeah.
I think there are. But like we were talking about, just secondary beliefs in the Bible, that there are all these Christians having an uproar about different opinions, and how like you were saying, like as you get older, the more your answer is just like, I don't know,
It's not even I don't know, it's that I don't even care to argue about it. It's like, like I've come to understand how much I don't have to prove.
Exactly.
I mean, I am not the truth. Jesus is the truth. I'm going to do everything I can to follow him. And I do think there is a truth of theology because Jesus is the truth. And I do think there's an answer to a lot of those debates that go on. And I'll engage in some of them because they're fun. But the moment they turn into like, okay, but only the true Christians, I'm like, all right, I'm out. If that isn't primary doctrine, I'm like, deuces. Yeah. I'm not interested in this anymore.
But I think the point here is like, to me, is like, don't stop asking questions or investigating stuff.
Right.
Like I think that is a wise thing to do.
Yeah.
Is to continually, do research on stuff.
Yeah.
And to draw conclusions slowly.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, going back to the whole race discussion, I think that's something that I'm still doing research on. Like, I'm reading this book, and I don't know what it's called. I can't remember. It's the Brian Loritz one. And like,
oh, it's not back there. It was back there a couple episodes ago.
And there are sure, there's things that like I might disagree with or blah 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 blah, but it's getting me to think about it. That makes sense.
Right.
So like,
think and take another perspective and think critically.
Yeah. And I think that's important. And even with the Bible, like you were talking about, on all these secondary things, like just continue doing research. Like me and my mom have been doing research on like eschatology views, and like it's super interesting to hear all these different opinions on that, and to like just think about them instead of like feeling like I have to choose one.
Right. All right. I will say the thing that killed a lot of my interest in eschatology, it was just theories on the Four Horsemen. I've heard so many, theological TEDx talks, but given after church as I'm shaking their hand. Hey, do you know the third horseman is this? Please leave me alone. Like I've sat through so many of those. I can't do it. It's like, actually, the third horseman's he's the Democrats. I'm like, no, there's no way. There's no way you can
Jerry.
get there. Yeah, I was like, you can't. Come on, man. I don't know. I'm as we are ramping up to November 3rd, this thing is getting more and more heated because people have stopped thinking and just started to just feel. Mm-hmm. People are angry, or there's a ton of anger and not a lot of critical thinking going on, and I think it's destroying us as a society.
Yeah. Did I talk about on the podcast about getting a call from the Democratic Party of America?
No, you didn't, but please do.
Yeah. This is an interesting, a conversation I still think about a lot and sticks out to me a bunch. I was it was like a Wednesday night, and I was driving home from hanging out with, we do youth group stuff on Wednesdays, and I get a call, and it's I can't remember her name, but she's like, "Hello, this is so and so. I'm with the Democratic Party of America."
We'll call her Jennifer.
Jennifer. I actually think that's close, because I was gonna say I think it started with a J. But so Jennifer was like, I was like, "Oh, hello, this is and she asked if this is Caleb Clough, and I was like, "Yeah, this is Caleb." She was like, "Oh, thank you for not hanging up on me." And it was just super interesting.
What a sad...
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's so sad.
Yeah. And
Thank you for not hanging up on me.
She chuckled, and it was funny to me.
But as she chuckled into her half gallon of Haagen-Dazs.
Right.
What do you think? Ben and Jerry's, the flavors are amazing.
And she asked me who I'm leaning towards to vote for, and was asking all these questions, and I told her straight up what I was thinking and how what my thoughts are approaching this, and it was cool because she was like, although we disagree, she was like, I'm glad that we were able to have a conversation and be kind to each other, and she was basically saying thank you for voting on what you believe and not being a jerk about it.
Yeah. Can I say not being a wiener?
And it was cool because I know obviously if she's calling from the Democratic Party of America, I'm not going to agree with a lot of what she's saying.
Right.
But she was a very nice lady, and that's what we need. Is that it doesn't matter what side you're on.
Right.
We're all humans, Right. And we need. What I've been challenged with lately is just showing love to people,
right,
in whatever way that is,
right.
And
I mean that's the other part of truth, that we must cling so hard to truth because it is the foundation of thought, communication, and on a spiritual end, it is the foundation of our hope and salvation. That is the truth of Jesus Christ, that only Jesus can save. We have to cling to that.
Right.
But if we do not give that in a manner that it is grace-filled and communicates the love of the gospel, then as Christians, we are missing the point 100%. If I'm going to Facebook and saying well, I need to tell the Democrats how dumb they are. First of all, the odds are you probably don't have any Democrat friends, and they're not going to click on your stuff, or they hid you a while ago.
Yeah.
But also, and more important, if our message is that of anger because I'm true and they don't know anything, then we don't get it either.
Right.
Because if I can't take the ego out in order to go, I could be wrong, and actually think through things, then I'm not going to be able to have a conversation, and I'm just going to get angry.
Yeah.
And as a culture, we have to be able to have conversations and not push it straight into how dare you, how I'm shocked that you would even say that. It's I said a statistic. I'm trying to have a conversation.
Yeah, I think that the intentions are everything behind it. I mean, we've been talking about a lot this past week in church, love and what that is. And, what I'm thinking of is the verse that talks about, if you
My bad.
What was that?
Text
Danny,
message.
Danny.
Sorry.
If you speak in the tongues of I can't quote
Men
it.
and angels.
Men and
but
angels
do not have love.
Yes, there you go. Then you are nothing but a noisy gong.
Mm-hmm.
And it's true. If you are not speaking with love, and I think that comes down to intentions and how you say things to people.
Right.
Like if you do that without love, your words are nothing.
Right.
It's either just going to be nothing, your words are just going to freaking just like go into thin air, or you're going to hurt somebody. So, I mean, and I think that's super important.
Well, I mean, there's the two different aspects. There's the guy that speaks truth that doesn't have any of that, and he's just, no one pays attention to him because he's so hateful the whole time. Mm-hmm. Or on the other end, there's the guy that is just all about the love but not about the truth. That and that's kind of the stuff of and I'm gonna call it out because I don't really care. Interfaith kind of Christian services, interfaith, not between Christian denominations, but I know pastors that they spend time trying to cultivate an kind of a faith worship program that Christians, Jews, and Muslims can all attend at the same time, and I'm just like, God will not hear that because very clearly there is one way, one truth, and one life, and that is in Jesus Christ. Right. But they're doing this under this like, no, just we gotta love each other, and like and in doing that, if it abandons truth, then it's also abandoned Christ. Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that's good, and I mean that's another thing that I feel like I'm personally challenged by a lot. Like I can say all these things, and we can do this podcast and talk about all these different subjects and encourage you guys, but if we aren't truly like intentional about it, then like it is nothing, right? And I think that's been super important to me lately. Yeah. But yeah.
So I know the truth is a thing all of us are trying to find, and both of us encourage to first and foremost, to those of us in the faith, our truth is Jesus Christ and in the Word of God, and to actually carve out time, and by carve out I mean prioritize, because I don't carve things that aren't a priority. Prioritize a time to study the Word of God, to get into it, to give it an opportunity to speak to us, and then also to go out and not just listen to the Word of God, but do it. And to do that in a manner that clings both to truth and also to love. Right. As we get closer to November 3rd, and now, Lord help us, a Supreme Court nomination. I want to cry. I just...
Gosh, I thought we were almost to the episode without you bringing it up.
I'm sorry. As all of us get closer to those things, we, above all, before Americans, before Democrats, before Republicans, before any of that, we are Christians first, and are called to spread the gospel first. Yes. So, everyone, call your congressman on the right and on the left, and just tell them to chill. Just like everyone chill. Everyone just be cool for 3 months. If we could just, I don't think I'm asking for too much here. Can we just all chill for 3 months?
No.
Is it not gonna happen?
Have you not seen the past?
A boy can dream.
The past even month. Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah, we can dream.
RBG's later stuff, I wouldn't say I super agree. I do honor her because of how she started, the type of tenacity it takes to get to the court that she got to, and the other thing, especially early on in her role as a judge. Man, she definitely paved some paths that needed to be paved. Yeah. And I have honor there. And as I heard she died, I just thought to myself, like, could you not, like, just wait it, like, just, it's like, please don't give me some respite, hold out till January, and it's just, and that was a really selfish thing of me to think, but I don't know.
I mean, it is a sad death for sure.
Yeah, but I'm gonna choose to be obedient to Christ first, and I'm not gonna snark on the internet, except in my one snarking circle, and you guys know who you are. What up?
Yeah.
I won't shout out that group because I don't even think they like that. Anyway, so if you have thoughts on truth or any questions about anything that's been brought up in this podcast, we want to hear from you. And the first way to do, I'll never do that again.
Yeah, I want you to take that back. You like on a Pokemon bug or something?
No, we did it. I pointed at the camera.
I choose you.
I was actually thinking, as I did it, this would be really cool if they had 3D glasses on.
And your finger just goes into the screen.
Yeah, like, oh, you know. But we want to hear from you, and a good manner to do that is to go to thegospeloutpost.com/nobodyspecial. Form at the bottom of the page. Y'all know how forms work. You put in the information, you press send.
Yes.
Maybe we get it.
We do get it.
Well... Okay.
Well, yeah.
Well, hold on. I'll check. Caleb, is there any other place that's maybe more reliable that you can go to?
Yes, you can go to Nobody Special Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and you can DM us there, or you can comment on our stuff. We will see it all, and we love to hear from you guys, like seriously. So, if you have any questions, any prayer requests, or anything, we will see it. And also YouTube. Check us out on YouTube. You can comment there as well. And it's just a good place to get in contact with us.
Oh, yeah. Both of us appreciate everybody that talks about the show, that actually tells other people about it. We appreciate that a ton. It's been a great couple of months. And Caleb and I both just enjoy doing this because it's our way to talk about truth and encourage people in faith. And, him and I are just a bunch of nobodies who are just talking about the coolest thing to ever happen to both of us, and that's Jesus Christ. So we appreciate this and everyone that takes the time to tune in and actually to tell other people about it. So
yeah.
So hold on, I'm checking to see if anyone has emailed to the website.
Is that going to do it for us today? This takes forever.
We're good. All right. And it normally takes not as long.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. That's going to do it for us today.
It is.
I'm Caleb.
And I'm Danny.
And we are
Nobody Special.